Oak is officially banned and Maliss is here, but does that mean that Snake Eyes is not top tier? Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we are taking a look again at Snake Eye. And yeah, it's pretty much the same deck that we've been playing for quite some time, just adding in the new Silver Bullet for Maliss. Here's the thing. I've already done a bunch of testing with Snake Eye prior to the Maliss release to see if it was dead post-Oak ban, and I determined that it wasn't. Now, granted, Maliss is here, and we do know that Maliss is incredibly powerful, and a lot of people are playing it. So how well does this deck in particular stack up with that? Well, you'll see as the video goes along, but honestly, I'll show you. Stick with me. I got you. First and foremost, let's just go through the card by card. I'm playing 41 cards here because I did not have I wanted to play at least 2 Lancia. That being said, I could see a world in which we play 3. I'm playing a lot of 2-ofs, and the reason for this is very simple. They're very good against specific decks, and not very good against other decks. So that's why I'm only playing 2. Maliss is fairly common, so I do like playing Lancia, but Droll is extremely bad against Maliss. But Droll is very good in this deck because you can play under Droll very effectively due to, like, if you get, like, Maxed, which is nice. I'm also playing 2 Triple Tack, which is, again, fairly decent overall, just in general. So, realistically, I could cut, like, the Triple Tack and play 3 Lancia and 3 Droll, but they're not exceptional, so I like having the additional Lancias. And the rest is just, like, engine and specific targets for like, cross out. So, we're playing the 1 Nib, the 1 Fua, etc., the 1 Imperm. So, that's pretty much it. As for the rest of the cards, it's pretty simple. We are playing the, like, bare minimumist Snake Eye engine. We're playing Ash, we're playing Poplar, and we're playing Birch. Theoretically, you could also play something like Jet Synchron, but the reason I like Birch in particular is twofold. One, you can actually search it more effectively due to the fact that it is a Snake Eye and a Pyro type, which makes Bonfire and stuff like that a little bit more effective, meaning if you end up seeing some other way to your engine, you still have access to something like Birch. Birch also can special summon itself if you just control a fire monster, which is pretty nice. Just a free guy, which is solid at the very least. And while it's not, like, the greatest, it still technically does something on the opponent's turn. If, like, the opponent maxes you, you can go, like, Ash, grab Birch for a thing, right? Or you can go, like, Bonfire for it or something else of that nature, so that at least you have, like, Birch for Flomberg to potentially not immediately die. So, at the very least, it kind of does something in that regard. Again, you could play, like, Kurikara, you could play Jet Synchron, you could play a bunch of other things, but for the most part, I do think that Birch is the choice to go with. As for the rest of the cards, we're also... Oh, sorry. The rest of the Snake Eye cards are the Flomberg, the Diabell Star, the Snake Eye Diabell Star, the Divine Temple, and the OSS. And then, of course, we're playing 3 Diabell Star, the Black Witch, as well as the 1 Wanted in order to search out the Diabell Star, the Black Witch. So there's that for the Snake Eye engine. It's not a ton, but it is the most that we basically have access to. We're also, of course, playing the Millennium cards with the 1 Golem, the 3 Sengajin, and the 1 Wedju Temple. Yes, this engine did not go away. I don't know who told you this engine was going to go away with 1 Golem. They just lied to you. They were lying to you. Yes, even world champions lie to you. So there's that. We're still playing it. It's still great. It still does the same thing pretty much the same amount of times, so there you go. And then, of course, the Fiendsmith engine, we're playing 2 Engraver, 2 Tract, and the 1 Lacrima, and that's it. We could play 1 Tract as well if you wanted to. You could cut it down to 40, but there's a lot of bricks in here, so I don't mind going over 40, and I like having the additional engine piece. It's very nice. As for the rest of the cards, it's pretty simple. We're playing... Oh, I also forgot to mention Lurie. We're playing the 2 Droll, the 2 Maxi, the 3 Ash, the 1 Fua, 2 Lancia, the 1 Nibiru, 2 Triple Tack, the 1 Bonfire, 2 Called By, 1 Crossout, and 1 Infip. And that's it for the main deck. As for the extra deck, we have 4 fusions in here. Lacrima, Necroquip, Doomed Dragon, and Desiree, all of which are fairly decent, all things considered, and do different things in a bunch of different scenarios, which is very nice. But Doomed Dragon is obviously, like, the highlight here. It is extremely powerful, both in the Snake Eye stuff, as well as in the Millennium stuff, so there's that. We have the 2 Xyz, the Zombie Vampire, and the Wave King Caesar. Caesar is very nice, just as a way to, like, insulate your plays from Nibiru. It's pretty cool. And then a bunch of links. Link, Karibo, Requiem. Phoenix is in here for 2 reasons. One, for Promethean Princess to have a way to, like, link it off in case you are locked under the fire effect. And to point to Apo so that it doesn't die to combat. So the opponent can't just, like, bait out a negate and then walk over it. So there's that. Then we also have IP Masquerena and SP. Pretty simple. And then Moon and Sequence. And then the last one is Princess. Princess is a little bit tricky here. We don't normally go into it anymore, but it is nice for extension and stuff like that. And you can still use it alongside Desiree, and you can, like, Desiree negate the Promethean Princess, and then go Promethean Princess into, like, an Apo, into a bunch of other things. So it's still nice, but yeah, it's not always necessary. Anyway, let's hop into the replays and show you how this deck performed. Alright, let's get this out of the way. How does this deck do against Maliss? We are going first here, and we did draw Lancia, but I don't know what you expect. Of course we're going to draw Lancia here. We're going to start off here with the Ash into Poplar. We're going to activate the effect of the Poplar. We're going to activate the effect of the Poplar, and we're going to search out the field spell, and then my opponent is going to reveal that they drew the one of Shifter. Now, here's the thing. I know my opponent's playing Maliss. Of course they're playing Maliss, right? They dropped a Shifter on me. Of course it's Maliss. Lancia doesn't say send to the grave. It tributes itself. So we're going to tribute. And now, nothing can be banished. Nice Shifter. Yeah. That's Maliss. That's Maliss, baby. We drew Ash. Doesn't matter. I'm going to activate Engraver. My opponent is going to go for the Called By. I'm like, that's A-okay. It doesn't really matter. I have Bonfire. I have the Temple. I have full combo. I can even go into the Fiendsmith stuff anyway, regardless of the Engraver. So there's that. Out comes the Flomberg, and they realize the writing on the wall and concede. Look, Maliss games aren't fun. Now, I'm not going to lie. We are going first again, but honestly, I have been seeing a lot less Maliss at the higher ranks. I think people are just, like, sick of playing it and sick of playing against it. And so a lot of people have, like, stopped playing Maliss. But I've seen it more and more at, like, lower ranks in, like, Plat and Gold and stuff like that, which is very funny. So that's all. It's kind of funny. We're still seeing a lot of, I'm seeing at least less Maliss. So, that being said, what in the world are we? It's 10. I'm just going to tell you right now. Anyway, we do end up grabbing the Birch here since we already had the Poplar, so we're going to go for the Birch here, and then we just special summoned it out. And then we can go into the Link Karibo, activate the effect on the Poplar, put the Poplar into the back row. Then we can activate the Ash here, and we're going to summon out the Flomberg. Now we can go into Moon, and then we can activate the effect of the Flomberg and putting it back 2 additional dies. And now we can go into the full Fiendsmith line, because for some reason, Moon exists. I don't know why this card exists. I'm not going to lie. This card should just be banned. Like, genuinely, I think having the ability to pivot any deck into the Fiendsmith stuff on top of anything else that they were previously doing is a bit silly, but that's fine. We're going to go into the Promethean Princess. Promethean Princess is now going to allow us to go into Flomberg, and now we can use the Flomberg in order to put the IP Masquerena into the back row. If you're wondering why this combo seems a bit strange and why it's not, like, the normal way you would do this combo, one, I did end up drawing Poplar, which is not necessarily something you're wanting to draw while also milling the Ash, so that kind of sucked. But more importantly is that I know my opponent is on Tenpai. Like, seeing these, it's either Sky Striker or Tenpai. I'm more scared of Tenpai, so I'm going to prepare for specifically a whole bunch of board breakers, which is why we're doing this combo in the way that we are. And more specifically why I decided to specifically play Desiree. I'm also going to go for the Apo here, which may seem a bit strange, but again, it's actually fairly good against Tenpai. It's not, like, exceptional, but it's pretty good against Tenpai. And then, of course, I am going to go for the Nightmare Phoenix as well, after putting the Flomberg into the back row, alongside IP Masquerena, so that with the Temple, we can go for the Flomberg here, which is fairly decent. I also set OSS, just because. They're going to go for the Sky Striker Maneuver Afterburners. Now, we did end up milling 3 spells, so I do have to negate this, otherwise they could just pop the sequence, which then turns off Desiree. But alas, out comes Thrust, and of course I'm going to Ash that. You think I'm going to allow Thrust to resolve? Hell no. Hell no. So alas, Thrust does get negated, and then out comes the Hornet Drone. That's A-okay. They're going to activate the effect. I'm going to then special summon out the Flomberg. Flomberg is going to then not do anything as of yet, but that's okay. Out comes the Kagari. I'm going to promptly negate that. Out comes the Droplet, and I'm like, sure, that's fine. They negate, and then add back the Afterburners. I'm like, Sure. Before they do that, I'm going to bring out the IP Masquerena, to which they will elect to try and pop it. And I'm just going to make the SP Little Knight here. Now, SP Little Knight is also protected by Phoenix, so it also can't be destroyed by combat here. So that's cool. Anyway, I also elect to banish their Hornet drones. It's just something. They go for the triple attack here, and I go, well, I will leave you... Because they elect to take here. So I banish my 2 non-fire monsters, so at the very least I have a fire monster on the field, and they don't get access to SP, nor Desiree. The Desiree matters significantly less, but mostly it is in here so that I have protection in terms of having a fire monster. To be fair, they could go like Flomberg and then put like Phoenix into the back row. So there's that. But alas, they elected to take Phoenix. I don't know why. I could have been dead here if they had gone Flomberg and then just put the guy into the back row, because they have like full combo there. And then I just can't do anything. But alas, they elected not to do that, so... out comes Promethean Princess on the Chandra summon, and then they lose. So, yeah, good game, I guess. Alright, here we are going second, and, look, it's not exactly, like, the most fair of hands, but it's fine. I'm going to actually Droll and Lockbird here, and you might be wondering, wait, you have Droll and Maxi, and you elected to Droll there? I don't want to deal with Kashtira in any capacity. Like, any Kashtira monster, regardless of how many draws I get off of it, is going to be highly detrimental, as opposed to activating Droll and potentially not having to deal with any of them. So, that was my choice there. Anyway, we're going to draw for turn, and that is a card that is not bad. It's fine. We're going to go for the Requiem here. We're going to activate the effect of the Requiem. We're going to special summon out the Engraver. We're then going to equip the Engraver with the Requiem, and then send the Requiem to the graveyard in order to do the Snake Eye combo. So out comes Ash. Ash grab Poplar. Poplar effect is going to special summon. For some reason, they didn't activate their Macrocosmos. That likely they have... Oh, that's why. Well, that's fine. Out comes Garura. That's okay. We still have Temple. We can put Snake Eye Ash into the back row. We're going to go Temple, putting the Flomberg into the back row, and then go for the Doomed Dragon and Flomberg. Flomberg is going to put those 2 back. And now we can just go... Two of them? Oh, man. And they pitched a second birth. Comedy, by the way. Anyway, that's fine. I'm going to yoink their Garura for no real reason. It's just funny. It does give them a draw, which is a bit of a crime on my part. Anyway, Lacrima special summon here. We're then going to go and link off into the Apollosa, and then use the Engraver in order to special summon itself back in order to go into Desiree. So we have Maxi, Lancia, Apo, Desiree, not Desiree, sorry, Caesar, and Imperm. Pretty good. Anyway, out comes a Rise Heart. They're going to link off here into the SP Little Knight, and I'm like, okay. Lancia, so that they can't banish. They're going to elect to SP Little Knight. I'm going to Imperm, so that they can't banish, and they are stuck with a guy on field. Out comes Typhon. They're going to go to combat, walk over the Apo. Yep. Now, problem, okay, so, so their field spell kind of screwed them over with the Typhon, and now Typhon can't do anything, so cool. Nice, yeah, 10 out of 10. Anyway, we do get to activate our OSS in order to grab Birch, which my opponent elects to negate there. It's fine. They do have Solemn Strike for some reason. It's fine. We're going to go Moon here and then do full Fiendsmith combo once again, because for some reason this game allows you to do Fiendsmith combo. Don't think about it. Good game. Alright, and here we are once again going first, and yikes, what a hand. Let's see if we can accomplish anything with this hand, regardless of how terrible it is. We're going to start off here with the Engraver into Tract. Tract is going to grab Lacrima, and I'm going to pitch the Lancia, because I actually wanted to normal summon the Lacrima, so that I can send Engraver, because I knew that they had La Cucaracha. So I'm just going to sit here and pass. Whoa, I can't beat La Cucaracha, I'm not going to lie to you. Anyway, out comes Tract here. They're going to go for the Lurie, and, well, guess what? I have the Roach as well. Isn't that so cool? So I'm going to activate the Roach here. They're going to activate the Called By, and look at that. I have Lancia. Also, goddamn, 83% usage rate? That's crazy. That's fine. We drew Birch here, which is not great. That's significantly better. Awesome. I'm going to immediately start off here with the Engraver to bait out something like a Called By or something else of that nature. And now we can go for the Tract here, which, again, may seem strange, but stick with me here. We're going to go for the Engraver into Requiem. Requiem effect is going to activate, and then we're going to special summon back the Engraver, and then go into Wave King Caesar. This was on summon number 6. So if they had nibbed, they would have nibbed me. That was what I was going for there. That's why I did that the way that I did. And, yeah. Out comes the Diabell start. We actually sent Imperm off of the field because I wanted to keep the Birch in hand because normal summoning the Birch is not terrible here. My opponent realizes the writing on the wall and concedes. Yeah, good game. Alright, we're back with the deck, and honestly, there's not really a reason to play this deck. That sounds really strange, but the thing is, Maliss just kind of does the same thing, but better. I guess the major reason to play something like this in particular, as opposed to something like Maliss, is due to the fact that you're not going to die to Lancia or Nibiru, well, less, right? Those, like, silver bullets that are specifically in a lot of people's decks to beat Maliss are not nearly as problematic against your deck. Even things like Maxi, Fool Loss, etc. aren't actually as bad due to the fact that we have the ability to play Droll effectively. Maliss also can kind of play Droll, but they really don't want to. Mostly due to the fact that you do actually want to draw cards in Maliss, and that is like half of your combo. But, I mean, you still could, right? So, all things considered, there's not really a big reason to play this deck over Maliss. However, it is still very comparable. It is only marginally worse than Maliss. I genuinely mean that. It does have a lot of merit and staying power in regards to the metagame, and I do think that it is arguably stronger than most decks right now. I think the only deck that you could say that is better than this one currently, I would say, is Blue Eyes. And even that I'm not necessarily, like, 100% on. So, there's that. This one might be the second best deck still, which is kind of silly. However, if we get Ryzeal, it won't matter, because all of a sudden this deck becomes terrible, because all of the Millennium stuff becomes terrible, and that is, like, one of the biggest selling points of this deck currently, and, like, Detonator just absolutely eats that for breakfast. So, that's all. Let's hope we get Ryzeal here, and now, you know, in like 2 seconds. That's gonna be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much so appreciated, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.